NZ Aerosports, Icarus Canopies, now Gyro. That's right, we've rebranded, and Gyro is our next generation. It honours our founder, as that's the name we knew him by, but Gyro also marks the start of a new chapter. And not to be biased, but it's going to be fucking epic. Long story short, we're more us than ever. So if you're new to the sport, or even a Sky God Ninja Turtle, welcome. I think our valiant leader Lucy, Gyro's daughter, says it best.
And we still got that fuck yeah attitude. Rebrand! Woo!
Rebrand woo indeed, Lucy. Anyway, head over to gyro.com for more info and get amongst you legends.
I was 19, broke, unemployed, and sold my girlfriend's canopy for drug money. So I thought I better sew her a new one. What a sentence, and what a story. This describes the humble yet outrageous beginnings of NZ Aerosports, the home of Icarus Canopies, in the words of our founder himself. From getting a paratrooper toy from his mom, watching parachutes at the DZ as a 6-year-old, jumping off the wharf with a parachute made from bed sheets, doing his first jump at 16, sewing his first canopy on a borrowed machine at 19, and starting to sell parachutes out of a garage in 1986, Paul Gyro Martin had an undying love for the sky. Our company started with one man with the wildest of spirits and a true blue sky dream, a renegade. In the time that Gyro created and ran the Icarus Canopies brand until he passed away in 2017, he pushed everything he had to its limits. We miss him, and we always will. Gyro is the next generation of NZ Aerosports. It honors our founder, of course, because it was the name we all knew him by, but Gyro the rebrand also marks the start of a new chapter, our next jump. Gyro is the space between sound and silence, art and science, chaos and calm. Gyro is a state of epic tranquility that transcends understanding. That moment, in the door, in free fall, mid-swoop, where nothing but the present exists. A perfect balance of euphoria and thrill. Gyro captures our passion for flying and our commitment to designing break-the-fucking-rules canopies that deliver pilots pure, wild flight. Hey gang, so I got a new book out. It's called The Upside of Fear, and it's exactly what you think it's about. It's about the good side of, well, getting scared. In it, we talk not only about the science and biology behind fear, but the psychology as well. And it's not just coming from me, it's coming from some of the best in the sport. Omar Alhigelan, Jeff Provenzano, Maxine Tate, and so many more have contributed their sometimes terrifying stories to the book to help you overcome your fear. So head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com. You're going to find the link to the book there, as well as the other books. It's available in ebook, paperback, hardback, and audiobook right now.
Coming straight from the cockpit, it's another episode of Lunatic Fringe with the fucking pilot.
Ready, set, go! Back in the can for another edition of the Lunatic Fringe podcast and another friendly face. It's been a couple years since we've caught up, but let's do it again. Who the fuck are you, and what do you do?
My name is Billy Sharman. Run a drop zone, and we operate a PAC 750 here in South Africa. And it's been an adventure the last few years, and to say the least. But we've come a long way. We started off in Skydance skydiving with old Uncle Ray Ferrell, and then we moved to Dubai. I was in Dubai for about almost 9 years, and then made a stupid, crazy decision to take over and run a drop zone in South Africa.
I'll tell you what. I've had a few DZOs on now. I've had Ray on. I've had Sherry Butcher, who runs Air Ohio, and a few others. And you're all fucking mental, man.
You're fucking telling me, bro.
I mean, of all the things, you've definitely gone hard in the paint for a lot of years, between working and swooping and all the traveling and stuff that you've done. But buying a drop zone, whew.
Yeah, I thought it was a smart idea in the beginning, but it ended up not being as easy as I thought it would be. And we've put our time in, and I think we've definitely come a come a long way since I was so wet behind the ears with it,
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, before we get too into the mental breakdown in progress for being a DZO, let's let's talk about how you got started. Just remind everybody that hasn't heard you and I talk before, how you got started in skydiving, and then of course how we ended up meeting.
Yeah, my mother was an old school skydiver. She was California state champion in silent accuracy, and I think in the early 70s. And when I reached the age of about 16, I used to look out the aircraft as we're flying around, flying on 210s or 182s or whatever. And I just look out the window going, my mother is fucking mental to jump out of the plane. Right? I thought she was crazy. And then one day my cousin was in California, and he said, why don't we go skydiving? And I was supposed to go the year before with my father and with him. And I said, fuck it, let's go try it. And one tandem led into the second tandem the same day. And then about a week later, I started AFF. And then about a month later, I'd finished my 25 jumps. And then I threw all my money at the sport for the next 1,000 jumps, which probably took me just over a year.
Wow.
And then about a year and 3 months. And then I was broke. Then I had no more money. So I had to learn how to pay for my addiction. So I became a packer, became a rigger, and then was on my hands and knees for quite a few years, working for all the Ray. From then it was pretty much downhill, Became a tunnel instructor in Arizona.
I love that looking back on things right now, the highlight of your career was being a packer for Ray.
Yeah. He did one time give me a free jump. I can remember we were doing this 18,000 feet jumps, and I came into the loft and into the packing mat the one day and said, you want to get on this load? I said, yeah, for sure. He says, grab your shit, let's go, boy. So I grabbed my stuff and jumped on the load. I think they let me out at 14, 15. I think they were going to 20,000 feet. I forget. But I got out higher than I ever got out before in my life. Did the longest solo of my life. And I just was like, is this ever going to end?
Yeah.
I just kept falling and falling.
They're brutal, right? I mean, Ray was real big on that because we did the 18,000 foot tandems out there. And I mean, I suppose as a baby skydiver, I would have thought that was the coolest thing in the world. But as a tandem instructor, you'd look at the load sheet and see that you had an 18,000 foot tandem and you're like, motherfucker, man, because you run out of shit to do after the first 30 seconds.
Oh, especially if you're doing a solo,
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, my God. From that kind of height? No way. No way.
No.
Yeah, I think Ray was one of the first to really start pumping up the altitude because he does, when he's still at Skydance, he was doing proper high altitude shit. I think they were doing 30,000 footers out there.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Yeah. Oxygen masks, all that stuff.
Over Skydance of all places. And I didn't know that place fucking existed until 2005. And I grew up 20 minutes from there.
Yeah.
No
Yeah, I was the same way. I was living in Vacaville. And that's 10, 15 minutes from there.
So
and I didn't know until
I gotta know, because I mean, obviously you grew up out that way, but you were born and raised in South Africa. So how the hell do you end up in Vacaville?
So my father was an aircraft mechanic, and he couldn't stand having a boss. And he worked for Delta, he worked for United, and then he had his own aircraft mechanic shop in South Africa. So when we moved to California, it took us a while before my father finally found his footing. I mean, we were living in Danville and San Ramon there for a while.
Oh, wow.
And my dad was commuting all the time. And he would lose his shit in the traffic, He wasn't a very patient man sitting in traffic. Fuck this, it was hilarious. So eventually my dad found Vacaville, and my mother was selling African furniture.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
I mean, The funny thing is, I mean, I say Vacaville like I'm talking shit about it, but it was actually a cool little town. It was just a teeny place in between San Francisco and Sacramento.
Yeah, when I was growing up there, we had big problems with gangs and stuff.
Mm.
And so my parents decided that they said to me, sorry, boy, but you're not going to be staying in California anymore. We're going to put you in boarding school in South Africa. So they put me in a Boeing 747, and I flew to Amsterdam. And I met one of my mother's friend's friend, picked me up at the airport, took me to the house. I mean, I was only 12 at the time.
Mm.
And then spent the night there. The next day, I got to drive on the Autobahn, which I thought was fucking rad. We were doing like 160. It was rad. It was rad. And then, 160 kilometers an hour, not miles.
Still fast.
Real fast, yeah. And then, they put me in another airplane. I flew back to down South Africa. And then I saw one of my father's friends pick me up there. I spent a couple nights there, and then they put me in one of my dad's buddies picked me up in his Bonanza, the Baron Bonanza, and took me to Kimberley and just dropped me off. Said bye, and I was 12 years old.
I mean,
quite the adventure.
From an American's perspective, that certainly wasn't particularly still am not terribly worldly about the continent of Africa. You tell me you're sending someone from California to Africa for safety reasons doesn't make sense in my head.
Well, yeah, I get it. But my father wanted me to get a proper education.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
at that time, a California education was not that great.
Oh, tell me about it, dude. I'm the product of a California public education, and I sit here in Finland, struggling with every other language because the United States didn't teach me any other languages, and I work with a bunch of skydivers that are from all around the world, and I think I'm the only one that only speaks one language. Everybody else is multilingual.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? So you crank out 1,000 jumps in basically your first less than a year and a half, which is an insane amount of jumps to start out with. Your parents obviously your mom was a championship skydiver. So what did she think though when you're dumping all your money into jumping like a wild man?
Well, they thought not too highly of me. I was working I was setting tile, and after that, after I spent all this money that I'd made, I had to do something. I remember one day I was living in Dubai, and my mom and dad came to visit me. They were going to Sri Lanka at the time, and my father pulled me around the side and said, "Listen, Billy, you need to get a real job now." And I said, and he says, "No, you must find something real to do." So we got home that night, and I took out my paycheck, and I said, "Dad, is this okay?" He turned around and said, shook my hand and said, "My boy, you're doing a good job. You keep doing it."
It's right especially with Dubai, because that was, I don't know if it's still as unusual as it used to be, but that was like the top of the pyramid. If you made it to Dubai, you were banking fat cash and living well.
Yeah.
Now, how did Dubai come about for you?
Well, I got a phone call one day from Jeffro. Oh, Jeffro. Where's Jeffro? And he said to me, he said to me, do you want to go and work in Abu Dhabi? And I said, yeah, okay. Why not? When do I start? And they said to me, oh, no, you start in 5 days. So at the time I was working for Wes Hobbits, just after he passed, I didn't really have much to do, so
yeah.
After at Wes. And so I said, yeah, I'll go. And I said 5 days, and I went, holy fuck. So I packed all my shit up and disappeared to Abu Dhabi. And I was there with Timmy McMaster, Jason Payne.
Nice.
Stefan Lip was there. So there were a lot of massive names in the sport,
Check that out.
Look at that.
Still got it after all these years. So since it's just audio, I just pulled out a pin for Wes's memorial. Wes was a hell of a guy. He was a trip.
Yeah.
He was a trip. And I mean, what an operation to be jumping at, because I flew up there for him in Ray's pack a couple of times, and it was, what was the airport it was in?
Minden.
Yeah, that's right, Minden, Nevada. And on the special loads, you guys would land on South Lake in Lake Tahoe, which, for anybody that's never been to Lake Tahoe, holy fuck, one of the most beautiful spots in the world. And then add to that, jumping out of an airplane over the top of it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You had a few interesting jumps over the lake, didn't you?
I didn't know they were going to bring this up. Yeah, we did a lake load, landed the lake, we jumped in the car, drove to the airport, took off, and we only got 10,000 feet. But, I was super happy and enjoying myself, and we were tracking, and then we tracked off, and I see people, I'm on my back, and I just see people start pitching. And as I roll over, I just see the ground it's massive. I pitched my main out. It took open on heading, old VX. What a great canopy that was. And turned left over this fence on my rears, and had these big sprinklers for farm sprinklers.
Yep.
I punched out over that, and thank goodness that the ground had just been watered down, and I landed in the biggest mud pit. But literally, I was open so low, I had no time to think.
Oof.
Yeah, and I'd just taken my Cypress out and sent it in for to get fixed, not fixed, but to get recalibrated after the 4-year.
Yep.
And I'm kind of lucky I did, because I looked at the video, you see my hand come up as all over my back, and I pitched around about 700 and 800 feet.
Holy shit.
I totally would have had a Cypress fire on my back.
Yeah, you would have.
No bueno.
Well, I mean, hey, we're still here.
Yeah. And people still say, fuck Cypress, fuck Vigil, whatever. Have something on your back.
Yeah. So I interrupted your story because I couldn't pass on that one. But so Jeffro gets a hold of you and off to Abu Dhabi in 5 days.
Yes. So I arrive in Abu Dhabi, and I meet this guy. I mean, obviously Timmy McMaster was there. We saw each other in line, and this guy Yevgeny picks us up, and Tim and I are looking at each other, going, "This ration, what is going on here?" And we drive through the night, because it's landed at night, and we're driving on this long road from Dubai to Abu Dhabi. And Tim and I think, yes, are we being assassinated out here, Simon? And Evgeny, one of the sweetest men you'll ever meet in your life. What a great guy.
Yep.
Yeah. So we arrived there, and then we were there for about a year, almost a year and a half.
Wow.
Before Omar Hedgelon, another legend, he called us the one day and said, "Listen, you guys want to come fly in the Sheikh's tunnel?" So, of course, we said, "Yeah, absolutely." So then the Sheikh came up to us and, said to us, do you guys want to come and work by us? I said, "Yeah, absolutely." So the next week, I handed in my resignation at Spacewalk. Took a holiday in South Africa for a month and a half, and then I was in Dubai as a tunnel instructor.
I mean, that was it wasn't even that was the golden age. That was, that was when everything was going on. Cause I mean, that tunnel became, world famous quite quickly just because of the talent that it was cranking out.
Yeah.
I mean, damn.
And this is the time before the Desert Dropson was open. And it was also before the first DIPC.
Yeah.
It was, we were at the very, very, very beginning.
Yeah.
And count my blessings for it. Every time I had such an amazing time.
Oh, yeah.
Because met so many amazing people. But just count my blessings every time that I was able to spend so much time there.
Sure. Now, you began in the tunnel, but I mean, quite quickly, everything really kind of took off with the Palm Drop Zone, and then it seemed like almost overnight, Mocktomb and all these amazing teams started popping up all over the place, and then you ended up on the swoop team.
Yes.
I mean, how fucking cool is that? How did that happen?
Well, Maha was involved, and we started off just as the Fuzzer Sky. We were really the first two guys that were competing for Fuzzer. And they really looked after us. They really took care of us. They sent us all over the world. and then the boss came to us and said, listen, you should we should make a swoop team. And just as this was starting to happen, we'd also been talking with JT about it, and so then with the four of us, the four of us, went up to Norway, and then that's unfortunately when that all went down for JT.
Sure.
It was a very, very tough time in my life. Seeing another one of my close friends, but it was actually saw him in under canopy flying into a tree, and it was very it was a very difficult time for myself and boys.
Sure. Well, I mean, for a huge portion of the skydiving community, I mean, there were JT stickers. There still are JT stickers out there all over the place.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. A lot of fun and funny shit happened in that time as well. Actually, you would have been around. It was well before my time, but I've heard the story come down over and over when Maha made a bet
Yeah.
with Sheikh Hamdan about the canopy. If you know that story, please tell it.
Yes. So that Maha, we had a conversation, and Maha said to the boss, listen, there's no ways you can get a canopy from Florida here, made, logoed, everything within 1 week. So he said to the boss, if you can, I will do the chiggy 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 dance. And then the boss said, if you can't, I mean, if you do it, then I'm going to take you to the Dubai Mall, and you're going to do the chiggy chiggy dance in the Dubai Mall in front of everybody. I think that's when the Maha started to stress. So I got a phone call about 3-4 days later that somebody had grabbed Maha's rig, took it to the farm. They called me up, put it together, hook it up, put it into his rig, and then let's go. And I remember Maha saying, he jumped out the plane. They called him to the farm, said, no, don't worry, we got your rig there. We're just going to go jump into the drop zone. And and so they got on the plane, they flew over to the drop zone, they jumped, and as they were doing that, they got the whole drop zone out there to watch this chiggy chiggy dance. And I remember Maha telling me, open the parachute. I looked up and he went, Shiza. So then he comes in the land, and we all sitting there. All of us are sitting there. And he gets down. He had to put on this little dance outfit, like a hula outfit. And so the boss said, I'm not gonna make you do it out at the mall. You can just do it. Yeah, and Fuad still has video. I can tell you right now, Fuad still has the video of Ma doing the chiggy chiggy dance.
I would love to see that. Oh my God.
Ma, if you're listening, or Fuad, if you're listening, send us the chiggy chiggy dance. Come on.
Please. I'll get so much mileage out of that for the podcast. I mean, I remember being told that story and Maha making the bet about having the canopy made and, not knowing anything about it. And then all of a sudden the canopy he didn't think could ever be made is sniveling above his head.
Yes.
Which is just fucking mental. But I mean, Boss was pretty infamous for his practical jokes though, wasn't he?
Yes, for sure.
I mean, I got there kind of at the end of that, I mean, I only saw very, very little bit of that and a few trips that we had done, but I heard all the stories because they're just fucking fantastic stories.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
Oh man. So you were 9 years in Dubai. That's a long run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was there 10, so same. That's a long time in that spot, especially for skydivers that bounce around notoriously. Although you got to travel a lot with the team, didn't you?
Yeah, we traveled all over Norway, Sweden, Switzerland. We went to obviously all over America. We went to South America, all over Europe, Russia. I went to Russia twice. Then I've been there 2 more times since.
Wow.
And yeah, it's the privilege that I was given to go all over the world was probably one of the best parts of my life, for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll tell you what, it's funny because when you're in the middle of it, especially at the end of a 9 or 10 year run, you get a bit burned out, and so when I finally resigned and left Dubai, I was pretty fried. But the further away I get from it, the more the little bullshit that used to bother me on a daily basis just disappears, and all I remember is this ridiculously cool shit that I got to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it was such a privilege, especially too because I got to, you know, um, get to meet so many new friends and see so many old friends. Because I remember I didn't know that you were out there. I didn't know a lot of people were out there when I took the job because it was the same with me. I got the job offer, and the next thing you know, I'm on a plane to Dubai. I mean, it was pretty much that quick, and I had to quit an airline and all that shit. Um, so that was a trip as well. But I mean, I got to see so many people that I hadn't seen in forever, and it was the greatest thing.
Didn't you have to travel to go pick up airplanes and bring them back?
Yeah, actually, the
Yeah.
the best trip I got to take was actually with one of our other pilots, Ty. We had to take Jump 5 to Switzerland and then bring it back. And that was fucking fantastic because we flew, over Oman, over Saudi Arabia, over Egypt, and then over all the way to Greece, stayed overnight in Greece, then over Italy, over the Alps and into Switzerland. And then coming back, we ran into a monster headwind. So we had to stop off in Egypt and got to go see the fucking pyramids because I just happened to be in Egypt in Cairo. It was fucking ridiculous.
Darn.
Yeah, man. It's one of those stories that I find myself because here in Finland and with my wife's friends, none of them are jumpers and none of them know anything about Dubai. And so I find myself telling stories that anybody from Dubai is like, oh, that must have been cool. But everybody else, you can see that look in their eyes that they're listening to you tell this story, going, this motherfucker is so full of shit. No
Yeah.
way, no way is any of this shit true.
Yeah.
I think that's just how that time was.
It was, yeah. I think a lot of people don't think what we did was normal. I mean, it wasn't really normal, but it became the norm for us,
Yeah.
doing all the stuff that we were doing because it was our jobs.
Yeah.
Those were our jobs. Those are what we were paid to do, and to make sure that the name was out there, and that we were respecting everything that we were doing.
Sure. Well, and it was also Skydive Dubai had made such a name for itself, not just in the sport, but outside the sport. So, I
Yeah.
mean, you'd remember it seemed like every other day there was some celebrity coming through to do a tandem. I mean, it was still cool, but it wasn't unusual to, be flying a load with fucking Will Smith in the back or Christina Rodriguez. Or I spent a week with Tom Cruise out in the desert when he was doing his stunt stuff. And that was cool, but it wasn't like, oh my God, it was, yeah, no, that was cool. But
Yeah,
anywhere
well,
else,
we were mingling with a lot of big names.
yes, for
So it
sure.
became operations normal for us.
Well, not to mention, I mean, it's a very unusual situation to find yourself in sitting and chatting with the next leader of Dubai,
Yeah.
right? It's strange. Like
Yeah.
when I'm sure I think you were there when we went to Sheikh Rashid's memorial.
Yes.
That was one
Yes.
of the strangest experiences of my entire life.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, it was just that was Dubai.
Yeah.
What a trip.
Yeah.
So
What a
your 9 years in Dubai wraps up and you decide you're going to go back to South Africa and buy a drop zone.
Pretty
Let's
much.
let's get into it.
Pretty much. Well, Pete Lawson had on the drop zone for quite a while, and he wanted out. And my father always told me you have to move forward. You can't ever move backwards. So my natural progression was to say, well, fuck it, let's try running a drop zone.
Yeah.
So we started the drop zone. We took over the drop zone. It took us about 2 or 3 years before we completely had taken over the drop zone completely, because I still had Pete as a partner.
Mm,
And he's a great guy. Pete's a great guy. And but the end game was to operate it by ourselves and not need other people.
sure.
So we did that, and yeah, 9 years after that. What? No, you're looking at 7.5 years, 8 years later.
Mm.
We put two world championships, swoop championships together. One in 2019, and then the last one this year. And yeah, we've been getting better and better and better. It was difficult through COVID, but overall the drop zones, definitely had its ups and downs.
Sure.
But it's something which we've done, and we can be very proud of what we've done over the past few years.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, and especially just taking the competitions into consideration, you have multiple world records being set at your place.
Yeah,
'Cause
well, we set them there, and then they come around the corner and they break we smashed the the world record, and now they just smashed it again.
it's
I think
crazy, isn't
Gonzalo
it?
was the one who smashed it in Dubai. Crazy, eh?
It's so part of it's you guys are at elevation. Like, how high are you?
At 4,200 feet.
Okay, so you got a little elevation going, which definitely
But
helps.
the problem, the real catcher is you can get density altitude of up 6,000-7,000 feet.
Jesus.
You know,
Jesus. So when you've got those kind of conditions, especially when you're on the cutting edge with the swoop competitions that you're doing, are these guys coming out and giving themselves a ton of lead time to train? Because that's a whole
you
different
know,
kind of air.
I said that before. I said it before on the 2019 World Championships. I tried to push people in the right way, but you get people that just, don't have enough training jumps, and it's just
Sure.
very difficult for those people, because one, you're going faster. Second, you need to turn higher. The recovery is a lot longer.
Yeah.
And you're just gaining speed. So if I could say one thing to swoopers, if you're going to go to competition, show up early. Try and get all the conditions. Have that downwind distance, have that headwind distance, have the downwind speed, have the downwind accuracy. I know how many people have hurt themselves, especially 2019. I said to everybody, I said, I'm running downwind accuracy. I'm not doing that. And they ended up having downwind accuracy in the beginning of accuracy on the first day. And then we got so many complaints that we changed the discipline. And then on the last day of the competition, guess what? Downwind accuracy. There's nothing we could do, right? It's the last few days. So people, if you go to a swoop competition, train a lot, listen to the locals, and you'll have a much safer, much better competition.
Yeah, for sure. Which, I mean, not only makes their competition better, but it's a hell of a lot better for your operation as well, because you don't want to be known as a place that bends people. So much rather keep them safe.
Yeah.
So what was was it the competition that brought Ray out to you?
No, Ray came out for a boogie that myself and Richie Grimm put on.
Nice.
So I had an idea for a boogie, and I called old Rich up and I said, Richie, this is my idea. He said, it sounds amazing. Sounds like you can pull it off. So we definitely had our time organizing it. Hands down, Richie Grimm is a hero, because he brought the people that he brought all the people.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a list 1.5 miles long of people that can come to the Tsunami Skydivers.
Yep.
And we jumped at Shamwari. We were supposed to jump in Cape Town, but the weather was just not conducive to it. I did a test jump, and we had a 25-knot wind blowing right down the landing area. I got out, almost 5 miles away. I got out at like a 2.2 after, and came into land and was like, "Oh, no, it's fine. We can land here, no problems." But you guys are jumping 170s, 190s, 150s. These canopies are going to be going backwards. No, we can handle it. And Richie and I looked at each other like, "There's no ways."
Yeah.
So we all hung out at a winery, and then a couple of days later, we went to this beach town called Plettenberg Bay, and we were supposed to do an entire day of jumping on the beach, but unfortunately, there was raining and windy and raining, low clouds. We couldn't even get the aircraft in to be able to operate there because of the low clouds, the rain. And we had this beautiful beach set up. There was a restaurant on the beach. You would walk off the beach into the restaurant, get your pack jobs, and that was the dream, right?
Sure.
And unfortunately, we just didn't have good enough weather. But then we went to this 5-star lodge, and I think Richie and I were the first people to ever rent the entire game farm. We had 121 people there. We were the first people to rent the entire game farm. They've got 6 lodges on their game farm, and it was unbelievable. We had two pretty good days. The last day of jumping was amazing. The day before we were on and off. I think we did 15, 16 loads. This is on the third day of while we were there, and then on the fourth day we did, I think, another 16 loads.
Nice,
if I remember correctly. And had a massive party in that night, and everybody was driving around in game drive vehicles. We were watching. There was a time where we couldn't operate because we were right there with lion in the landing area. And then there was one time where there was a herd of elephants walking on the other side, and we had to get the gyrocopter out to chase the whole herd away from the landing area.
Amazing.
So it was very interesting.
Well, that was when I went out to Kenya to help Zanzibar and train one of her pilots, and I'm standing there waiting for loads to come on Vipingo Ridge, and this giraffe wanders over and starts licking me, like, fucking what?
Yeah, now you're talking shit. And now everybody's like, now you're talking shit.
I have video. I'll post it.
I mean, I believe you. I've seen it. I believe you.
Yep.
But all your viewers at home are like, yeah, this fucking guy.
Oh, of course. Well, they're already convinced I'm full of shit anyway, so it's fine. Well, I mean, Rich Grimm told me when I had him on, he's like, that's the greatest part about a proper, well thought out destination boogie is that even if the jumping isn't quite what you had hoped, the destination itself is already fucking amazing, and you're there with a bunch of skydivers.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, how do you beat that? And you took Uncle Ray out hunting?
I did take Ray hunting. He wanted to go hunting, so I organized him a hunting trip. And bless Ray. It was a good shot. I was thinking to myself, man, I don't know if this American can shoot so well,
Come on.
But Ray's a good shot, and he got himself a blessbok, which is a very nice animal.
Yeah.
And we had a really good time out in the bush. We jumped in the plane, we flew out to the bush, and we spent 3 days there. And on the second day, so the first day we arrived, we hung out, we had a barbecue, and then the next morning early in the morning we went out shooting. And then after the hunting, myself and Ray both shot, and also Matthew shot an antelope. And we're sitting there, what are we going to do for the rest of the day? So I had the bright thought, just going to go visit my buddy Henning. My buddy Henning owns one of the largest crocodile farms in that area. So we jumped in the plane, off we went, and we got to hang out. We got to hang out with there's 7,000 crocodiles on his farm.
That's insane.
On a mass breeding program, and so we spent there, had some time, had some lunch there, and then the next day came back, and I think Ray shot another one. I think, if I can remember correctly. I can't remember, but anyway, so we did that, and then the next day we flew back.
God, Ray must have loved that.
Great time. I think Ray had fun.
Oh yeah, well, you sent me the pictures from the hunt itself, and I was so jealous because I'm like, that looks just. Of course they are. Of course they're hunting in Africa. Why would they not?
And then what really made Ray sour was that he couldn't take the meat with him, so we took the meat back to Pretoria. We get it all fixed up, we made biltong and boerewors, and it was the meat was just. If you're watching this, Ray, you missed out, buddy.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, good.
There is nothing better than fresh biltong.
Yes.
There really isn't. When I did the safari with my daughter and my mom, we did from Jobu to we went South Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Zambia. And I think every time we stopped, I went in and found the next place that was selling fucking biltong, and I lived off of biltong in that van. Yeah, because we were there for almost a month. It was like a 3.5 week safari, and it was I think I was shitting biltong for 6 months. I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah.
So you have another big event that you're building up to. Tell me about it.
Yeah. So this one, it's I wouldn't say it's not as big as Shamwari. But you know, I have the ability to put 60 people in. I've got about 15, 20 booked already. And it's just around the corner from my drop zone. Literally in the airplane, it's just around the corner. But it's a 4-star lodge, and we have a nice big landing area. Unfortunately, this one is a C license boogie, because I wanted to make sure that it was as safe as possible. I didn't want people showing up uncurrent, you know, minimum jump numbers, only have a B license, you know, or a couple hundred jumps. I mean, if you have 400, 500, 600, 700 jumps, you're more than welcome to approach me if you want to come. And it's an all-inclusive. The only thing I didn't include was the alcohol. That I can't, because some people are just crazy. They drink all day, all night, and they don't jump. So I'd rather than jump, you know. We've got some amazing organizers. You know, we've got Amy Shimaleki, we have Anna Marksness, we have Naomi Kutsia, and then Mr. Johnson. So
that's a crew right there, dude. That's a fucking that's a rock star roster.
Yeah. I mean, I have amazing organizers. I can't say enough good things about these people. They are they're very well known all around the world. And, you know, I've known these people quite a while. So I wanted to get my friends starting to be involved. And my plan is to do more of these types of boogies in South Africa. So I'm looking around for the I wouldn't say that the cheaper, but the more of the bush experience that's not going to cost a lot.
Sure.
You know, like this one, you've got 5 days all inclusive. But what's actually awesome is before we start jumping, it's a public holiday on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday of the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. And it's got a full 3 days of jumping at the drop zone. So you can get used to the altitude in a nice, safe, not saying the other place is not safe, but I'm saying it's a nice green grass.
Sure.
It's not a dirt landing area, you know. But it's going to be those 3 days, then the 5-day boogie, and then you're going to have another 2 days on the weekend after that to be able to jump more with these organizers.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so we try to get it all inclusive, which we have done. Nice runway, and an acceptable landing area. But we're going to go out there and obviously clean it up a little bit more before we start.
Sure.
And then it's a 5-star. We've got swimming pools, we've got hot tubs, we've got massage therapists, we've got 5-star food. It's an amazing place. It's called Mongena. And
how do you spell it so people can look it up?
Mongena. Mongena.
Mongena. Okay, cool. Awesome.
And you can find it all on African Skydiving Adventures.
You sure about that?
African Skydiving Adventures, yeah.
All right, cool.
I've been doing a lot of work lately. You know, we're organizing. There's another boogie happening. It's called the Mzansi Boogie, which is happening in early March. This one is happening at the end of March. So we got 2 back to back. The Mzansi one is another one that's coming in from Europe. We've got a group of Dutch people.
Awesome.
Coming in from Europe. And yeah, so we've got a lot going on this year, this coming year.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What now, that time of year, what's the weather like?
Perfect.
Yeah. That's the season?
It's not too hot. What happens is early morning, when you wake up in the morning, it's a little bit chilly.
Sure,
right?
that's perfect.
And then throughout the day, it gets hot. You can reach about 85, 90 degrees. And then at night, it drops off. So if you are going to come, I would say dress code would be short stuff for the day, and then evening time evening time, early morning time is like with some warm clothes.
Nice. Nice.
We're going to be doing safaris, as you can included in the package is 3 days of safaris.
Awesome.
We're going to go to monkey nastics and see all the monkeys, and then there's a beer tasting place just around the corner, which we're going to go and drink some beer.
Skydiving, safari, massages, swimming pools, and beer tasting, and
Yes.
skydivers.
Correct.
That sounds like a pretty good time. I've already been given shit from Naomi and Anna that I better show up. So I'm trying to see how I can make it happen.
I think you should show up, because if you don't show up, you're never being invited back on this show. Okay?
I have a bit. Well, no, that's in April. I'm definitely I'm trying for sure. In April, the wife and I are supposed to go to Nepal to try and summit Island Peak. So that's already in the books. So we're going to do that. That's another thing you and I will have to talk about the next time we do this, is our mutual experience going up to and back from Everest Base Camp.
Yeah.
Because you made it.
I did.
Yeah, absolutely.
No training, nothing. I just jumped on and off I went. That's great.
Yeah, I know. I remember because I got messages from you and we talked about it, because you were like, look, I'm in South Africa. I'm stopping off in Dubai and I'm going to Everest. What do I need to know? I'm like, I got some shit for you. Take this stuff.
They told me you should definitely have shoes that are worn in. You know that I bought a brand new pair of shoes the day before I left.
Of course you did.
And it was the best thing I ever did, because they were tight on me. They were like a size small almost. No blisters, no nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because you took my trekking poles, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Because my trekking poles have now made 4 trips to Everest, because I've lent them out twice and then I've taken them twice. So my trekking poles and some of my equipment's been up there a lot. Yeah, well, because last time I was up there with a little bit of Micah, a little bit of Kevin Love, a little bit of Zach Kimsey, fucking a little bit, yeah, I know, a little bit of Matt Munting, all of them,
Wow. There's some names right there, boy.
Oh, tell me about it, man. And of course, who but Kevin ends up going on a gust of wind backdraft into my face. So I've fucking swallowed some of Kevin. And all I could think, I'm shooting the video as I'm releasing the ashes, and it's very dramatic, and I'm super emotional, and in the middle of it all, the ashes go slamming into my face, and all I can think is fucking Kevin. Of course. Yeah, it's exactly. I'm like, it's his last little laugh. He's nailing me with that. It's funny because somewhere in here, oh, you can't see it, it's off camera, but I've got a necklace that Janet sent me that actually has some of his ashes in the pendant that's on the necklace. So he's sitting in the room too. So he's with us, hanging out. As they'll do. So hey, before we can do this all fucking night long, and probably will anyway, but before we stop recording, tell them once again, what's the event, what's the website, what's the drop zone, what's your contact information, so people can reach out, book shit, come to a jump, find out when the next competition is, all that stuff.
The whole thing is put on by OSAC Aviation, and it's OSACC Aviation @gmail.com. So if you want any other information, just reach out there. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook, African Skydiving Adventures. And like I said, this is not going to be the only one. We're going to do multiple. So we're going to invite everyone from all over the world. The Dubai people should come. We're going to put one in the Dubai summer.
Nice.
That's going to be cold, but not like freezing, like snow, what you're dealing with yeah, buddy. Skydive Pretoria is the drop starting at.
Yep.
And then, when we jump in a bus, that gives us about a 45-minute drive from the drop zone. It's going to be, everything's going to be available on the bus. I'm going to put a nice big esky cooler box, couple.
Is there going to be a stripper pole?
Only if you come and put it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a deal. That's a deal.
There's three different packages. There is the non-jumper package, and then there's obviously the skydiver package, and then we have, for an extra €200, we have a package. There's only 4 or 5 these luxury glamping tents, and they are right on this lake, and inside the lake are crocodile, hippos. So at night when you go to bed, you don't come outside. Yeah. And there's lion on the farm. So there's lion, there's bed, there's pretty much the whole big 5. If you don't know what the big 5 is, go look it up.
Yeah, it's so impressive.
Yeah, and then we've got vehicles for each campsite. We've got vehicles, and then we have a massive party at the end of the trip on the Friday nights. Saturday morning we're back to the drop zone. You do some more jumps if you want, and then after that, happy days. Travel down to Cape Town, go see Cape Town, make like a 3 week adventure out of it.
Hell yeah.
I tried to get the pricing down as much as I could. The top level price is €4,000, all inclusive for 5 days. And then the skydiving one is €3,800, and then the one just below that is the non-skydiver, and that is for €3,600.
Cool. I mean, the luxury one with the glamping tent. Fuck, we did that in a place called Hyena Pen in Botswana. Have you been?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. So I'm there at Hyena Pen. We're in that glamping tent, and they've given us the briefing. They're like, hey, once the sun goes down, we'll walk you to, after dinner and everything, we'll walk you to your tent and then stay there. You got the bathroom and everything inside. You don't go outside wandering around on your own. We're like, okay, no problem. Well, the first night they walk us and everything. And the second night, the staff is just like, okay, good night. Have a good night. And like kind of showing us the path. And so my daughter and I shared one of the tents. We go down, it's no big deal, whatever. We get there, we're kind of looking and listening, and there's nothing happening. We get in the tent, close the door, brushing our teeth and everything, and we're laying in these 2 massive queen-size beds. She's on one side of the tent, I'm on the other side, reading a book, and all of a sudden, outside the tent, you hear this sniffing. And it's sniffing, circling the fucking tents, and both of us are like, that's fucking hyenas.
And your little butthole goes like this.
Oh my Oh yeah, and I'm laying under. It's the strangest thing in the world to be laying in a queen size bed with this beautiful duvet and soft pillows, and you're just holding the blanket over you going, there's a fucking hyena on the other side of that canvas right there.
Well, wait, one day you wake up and the next morning you open the tent, and you're right next to the tent, you see hippopotamus footprints.
Yeah.
And and you don't even hear it. It's like you don't have no idea it was there.
Yeah. Well, the elephants are the same way. I mean, you just don't hear them. They just appear.
That's crazy.
Anyway, hey, we can do this all night long. We'll have to save it for next time around. Billy, as always, amazing catching up with you. I cannot wait to see how this event comes together and see everything from it, whether I'm there live or whether I get to see the pictures. But for anybody that's interested, African Skydiving Adventures.
Yes.
Look it up.
Don't forget Sean Robinson's coming to do all the pictures, outside video, outside pictures.
Amazing.
Day tapes all day, every day.
Amazing.
So we've got a star-studded class of organizers, videographers, and it's gonna be one for the books.
Well, I mean, shit, the organizers alone should make people go anywhere, but to be able to go someplace like that, fucking fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, brother.
Thanks, Dean. Appreciate it, man. Much love.
Take care, brother.
We'll see you soon. Ciao.
Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Lunatic Fringe podcast, brought to you as always by, well, wait, not as always, actually. Brought to you now by Gyro. Formerly known as NZ Aerosports, you'll head to gyro.com for their next level line of canopies. By Pussfoot, the extreme sports collective. Head over to pussfoot.com to check it out. By Summit Parachute Systems. Check out summitparachutesystems.com to talk to Jarrett Martin and the gang about kick-ass pilot rigs, rigging courses, and more. By Flyaway Indoor Skydiving. Go to flyawaytn.com and check out all the cutting-edge stuff to come. By Pure Spectrum CBD. Head to purespectrumcbd.com to check out their wide range of CBD products. And as for us, head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com to listen to any of the hundreds of episodes currently available. Hit the link for our YouTube channel, pick up your copy of the Lunatic Fringe book or The Accidental Stripper, and get a sneak peek at upcoming guests. Once again, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.